Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to APO Productivity Talk. I am Minh Hiep, APO Alternate Director for Vietnam. I also APO Chair of the year 2020. So as you know, manufacturing has been considered as the backbone of industrial development and economic growth in Asia-Pacific economies. And smart manufacturing is evolving toward a higher value by adopting the advancement of digital technologies. So today's section, we would like to share with you the experience in smart manufacturing development from APO. We are honored to have with me today Professor Chen-Fu Chien, Tsing Hua Chair Professor from the National Tsing Hua University. So now I would like to invite Professor Chien to introduce more about yourself before we go to the presentation. Thank you very much.
Dr. Hiep, it is really my great pleasure to join this Top Talk, especially with my friend Dr. Hiep. And I'm currently as a chair professor in National Tsing Hua University in Taiwan. I also serve as the director for this so-called artificial intelligence manufacturing system. It is one of AI center in Taiwan sponsored by our MOST. And I would like to take this opportunity to have an opening introduction first, then based on this, I look forward to have more interaction with Dr. Hiep as well as the participant. So now please allow me to share my presentation. So this topic is about forging ahead with smart manufacturing and how can we do from smart industry 3.5 to productivity 6.0. As you can see from this figure, it's talking about how many Earths do we need. If we want to live like people in United States, we need 5.0. If we live like China, we need 2.2. But we only have one Earth. Obviously, one Earth may not be enough for everyone. And in addition to inter-country gap, there are also intra-country gap. And such gap is being increasing enlarged because of AI, big data, computing power, etc. So this is more and more people, their job or their business, or even the whole society community will be affected by such migration. And of course, a number of countries, they almost have their own strategy, such as AI Industry 4.0 or similar strategy for smart manufacturing, including Taiwan. I would like to share some of our experience as an illustration. Of course, leading countries such as United States, they also re-emphasize manufacturing. One of the reasons, as they highlight in their AMP strategies, the return on investment is about 2.5. This is only the direct return on investment. Of course, there are also associated benefits because of the economic growth, job opportunity, etc. And of course, APO under the leadership like Dr. Hiep as well as other membership country, they establish a number of centers of excellence, including this one on smart manufacturing based on in Taiwan. And it is also my great honor and pleasure to join this committee. And we have done a lot of research on this that I will share later too. And Germany, they propose Industry 4.0 and they divided Industrial Revolution into 4 phases. My argument is that these 4 phases of Industrial Revolution, they are different. The first one and the third one, they are enabling technology from 0 to 1. For example, the steam power machine, the invention or innovation, they will bring us to mechanical world. And also the invention of transistor, integrated circuits, or PLC. So we're going to this digital world. But how about Industry 2.0 or this ongoing Industry 4.0? As you can see that Industry 2.0, it is more like a technological revolution. It takes a longer time from 1840 to 1919, almost 80 years. And it will not just talk about technology. It talk about mass production, scientific management, production line, such as 104th assembly line. So you can see that this Industry 2.0 is really on the basis of the previous industrial revolution, then try to maximize its impact. And similarly for this ongoing Industry 4.0, it is actually leverage the previous invention of computing power, such as integrated circuits, IoT, cloud, etc. But the business model is actually very different. Bosch, their vision is lot size equal to 1, still profitable. So as you can see from this vision of production line or manufacturing system, we don't see assembly line. There are a lot of AGV, intelligent device, IoT, etc. So they will be more customer oriented. And such manufacturing change will also impact supply chain. So Harvard Business Review, they even said that the supply chain will be dead. But you know, a lot of countries in APO member, we are part of this global supply chain. So being part of this global supply chain is important for a lot of small and medium-sized enterprise in APO members. But the change, because of this profitable, lot size equal to 1. So now we are no more focused on mass production, return to scale. We are more focused on mass personalization, flexibility, and the supply chain may not be dead directly, will be shortened, fragmented, and become like a global manufacturing network. So I think this is really an increasing competition between business camps or ecosystem. And talking about this ecosystem, high-tech industries such as semiconductor, they have evolved very fast along the time. So you can see traditionally, semiconductor is a vertical integrated industry, but now it's very fragmented and very flexible. A lot of new players join this supply chain, and it is still ongoing changing. And so the how to deal with this flexible decision or intelligent manufacturing is important. We propose this so-called PDCCCR strategy, which means pricing, demand, capacity, cost structure, and the financial return. They need to integrate it within a digitalized decision platform so that those flexibility or flexible decision will not affect your financial return. And we even wrote a case study called TSMC Way in Harvard Business Review. We think this TSMC Way could be a new paradigm for smart manufacturing, at least for Industry 3.5. And as you can see, Toyota Way, just like Ford assembly line, they are like Industry 2.0 plus. But you can see their impact still very huge. And this TSMC Way should be a new paradigm to address this flexible manufacturing or smart production. We even wrote a number of case studies, almost 12 case studies in Harvard Business School. I think one of the reasons is United States, when they want to return to manufacturing, APO members, especially Taiwan, still one of their role models, especially we have a lot of hidden champions here. So I think Taiwan's manufacturing soft power could be a reference model or utilized by other APO members. If we use this vision by Siemens for this Industry 4.0, there are 3 visions. The first one, all the product will be manufactured and contain all the information. That could be done by IoT big data. Then all the machine, they will self-organize along the physical world and you can see in the digital world. like a digital twin or cyber physical system. And finally, flexible decision. My argument is that the first one and second one, they are means objective, because this global company, they want to sell their solution. The final one, flexible decision, is the fundamental objective that we can achieve by ourselves, whether through this mean or not. Especially in APO members, a lot of us, they are small and medium-sized enterprise. They are here. Their flexibility is high, but they are not so systemized. So how can we move from here to here? Obviously, you still need to do what should be done for Industry 2.0, such as the lean production or Toyota way, then through automation, cyber physical system, big data, then go to here. It may take a longer way. A lot of small and medium-sized enterprise in APO may not have the time, has the money for investment. And the Industry 3.5 is more like a hybrid strategy that on one hand, some fundamental infrastructure, you still need to go this way. But for small manufacturing application, we can leverage AI big data and try to realize them in advance so that the company will get more benefit to build up their belief and so that more and more investment will be spent on this smart manufacturing migration. Now I want to use some example. For example, in semiconductor industry, each integrated circuits, after they are fabricated on a wafer, inside of here, we need to using the probe test to test so-called known good die. And each probe will be touched down on the surface of wafer. And the probe will produced by actually the machinery industry through the precision speed of molding. Then this probe will be produced. But there are a number of quality characteristics need to be followed within their spec. As you can see, 2 input factor, 9 response variable. It's very hard for engineer. Sometimes people need to try and error. But through AI big data, we develop intelligent solution so that if you are engineer, you can use this as a simulator. You can also, like an auto drive, you can say, okay, why don't you help me? So you touch one button, they will optimize for you. And what they can do is actually they learning from the production, learning from the big data we collected. And you don't need to change the whole manufacturing system into Industry 4.0. You can realize it very easily. And this is another example, machinery, CNC processing. The NC machine is capital intensive, very expensive, but the parts for aerospace, each part is the lot size is very small. So usually the engineer, they need to visualize what is the routing, then they try to produce the routing through the NC machine. But through our analysis of big data, the current, then we realize some of the routing may not be necessary, could be optimized. But we don't replace human beings' job. We give them advice, say, okay, why don't you check here and here? There's the corresponding position. So through this process, we help the domain expert to increase their productivity about 8 to 20%. And textile industry is also another important industry in Vietnam, in Taiwan, in IPO members. There was a time Under Armour CEO Plank, he visited Taiwan, but he said that we are too lazy. He said, you always chasing the cheap labor cost. So what they do is they use robotic. They even ask EMS company, electronic manufacturing service company, such as Flextronic. Now they change their name to be Flex, to provide manufacturing service, not just electronic, can be shoemaking, textile, etc. Unfortunately or unfortunately, this joint venture does not succeed. One of the reasons is shoemaking still rely on a lot of human talent or labor-intensive work. But I think sooner or later, AI robotic will become smarter and smarter. But before that, how can we do to keep the job or to help our fellow people in APO member countries? I think the idea is more like an Iron Man. We don't want our society like iRobot. Everyone seems like own the robot, but they were controlled by a centralized a big company or government. But this Iron Man is that everyone can be empowered by the intelligent solutions. So he or she can decide what kind of solution I will use to improve my productivity, to enhance my quality of life, etc. And this is actually one of example, WPG Holding. It is one of world #1 semiconductor distributor based in Taiwan. So they develop a lot of solution to help their agent become Iron Man. And this is also what I think APO members should do. Textile, as I mentioned, is another industry important in APO. This Everest Textile is the world #1 functional textile company based in Taiwan, and there are also a lot of business in Vietnam, in Malaysia, etc. They even have their fab in United States when American government want manufacturing return to USA. So what we help them is we also adopt this Industry 3.5 for textile smart manufacturing. We analyze the color code through big data. We have a PDCAR planning. We evaluate each workstation performance, and this is like a cyber physical system. So as a president or fab director, you understand that each workstation, their status, their loading. And among this, actually, there's one based on our center called AMS, Artificial Intelligence for Intelligent Manufacturing System Research Center. Is sponsored by MOST. It's one of 4 national AI center. We believe AI can help Taiwan's manufacturing industry to transform. We also want to share our experience with our APO members to jointly enhance the benefit of our peoples. So international collaboration is also one of our important missions. And earlier of this year, it is my honor and a great pleasure to lead a group of delegates to visit Vietnam, including your MOST and a number of leading universities in Vietnam. And we look forward to have more collaboration. And same with Philippines. Philippines' MOST minister, Dr. Pena, he invited me to give a keynote in their annual meetings. And also Nature, they have a feature coverage of Taiwan's transformation, how AI big data help our industry upgrade. So they have an interview of me earlier. And this is what I share as the basis for further discussion. And thank you very much for your kind attention. And of course, by the way, I want to encourage, especially welcome more our Vietnamese talent to join us in Taiwan for studying smart manufacturing, especially in our lab. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Professor Chien, for your presentation. So I think everyone is very happy and interested about your contents, especially on smart manufacturing and also Industrial 3.5. So now I also would like to invite everyone to join our live discussion on smart manufacturing and Industrial 3.5. So everyone can send us your questions and comment via the YouTube channel. So Professor Chien, so I have the question for you. The first question is, how is smart manufacturing currently being applied worldwide as well as in Taiwan? What kinds of changes do you predict for the near futures? Please.
Thank you, Dr. Hiep. Thank you for your insightful question. I think as I showed earlier in the slide, almost every country have their national strategy for AI Industry 4.0 smart manufacturing. But I think the the momentum is there. Like I say, it may not take 80 years, but certainly it will not like a quantum jump. So the industry, the government, the society must be patient. But this is a way we need to go. It will involve a lot of technological revolution, the transformation of society, even social science, etc. So what Taiwan's experience, of course, the manufacturing is a strong segment in Taiwan. So our industry people, they have keep improving their productivity, quality, their way of production in order to fulfill customer needs. Just like the so-called TSMC way I shared earlier, they were driven by their customer, and they become one of our core strengths of our industry. And also through this process, when I have experience to working with high-tech industry, then look at other small and medium-sized enterprise, I realized that this is not really an easy way, but we must go. I believe also for APO members, but we can see that after a while, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there was a very hot topic, Industry 4.0 or similar trend. But now some country they become slowed down. Some company they also think, okay, Industry 4.0, we already hire someone to or some consultant to give us some advice, but then we don't see what's going really change. Then they just return to their normal way. I don't think too rush or too slow is not good. That is why I think we need to be like a sustainable and step by step moving forward. Depends on each company or country's difference. And you're talking about the change. I think a lot of change is ongoing. Like some of the job, they will be replaced by robotic automation system, and the business model also changed because nowadays the supply chain become shortened or fragmented. So for the vendor, they need to be more flexible. Otherwise, they will lose their business. But for the customer, they also need to manage sourcing from different area or different company. So that create a lot of complexity for intelligent planning. And this part usually in APO members or in Taiwan, traditionally we rely on human talent. The boss or the senior executive, they are very hardworking, so they can manage the complexity. But now the business becomes so complicated, you need to change from human being to based on AI big data. But the way to change is not to replace human being. It's more like an Iron Man I mentioned. We need to develop a system to empower or save the loading of our senior manager so that they can spend more time to do the business judgment because the environment become very complicated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Chien, for your answers. So, last year, APO also approved a new Center of Excellence on Smart Manufacturing in Taiwan. So our question is, as the host of APO Center of Excellence on Smart Manufacturing, how is the CPC supporting smart manufacturing adoption in the other APO member economies?
Yeah, thank you. CPC is Taiwan's organization, especially to host APO-related activity. Firstly, they in addition to CPC staff, they actually try to integrate or engage different resources in Taiwan, such as from academia. So as I mentioned, although I'm a professor in National Tsing Hua University, but I'm very honored to be invited by CPC to join this Center of Excellence to promote smart manufacturing. And CPC also established a training center based in central part of Taiwan because in central part of Taiwan, we have a lot of hidden champions, like I mentioned, the textile company, the machinery company, etc. So the infrastructure layer is similar to other regions in APO. So we think it will be a good hub to allow our partner and the APO member to send their delegate or their talent to here to learn more about smart manufacturing. So this is one way we'll become a host. And secondly, we also organize like a consultant team or like a visiting scholar, so that we send out our expert, professor, even students to our other APO countries such as Vietnam, Thailand. We have some list so that such collaboration can be done on site in Vietnam or Thailand or other APO country. And I think this is also one of reasons, as I mentioned earlier this year, even I myself, I also did a group of delegates from most scholars and some industry people to visit both north and south part of Vietnam, and we also learn a lot, and we also see a lot of opportunity for the collaboration, including the Vietnamese companies such as Vin Group. We visit there. We also visit a number of Taiwanese companies. They also enlarge their manufacturing base in Vietnam. So I think there are a lot of opportunity can be done based on this Center of Excellence on Smart Manufacturing in Taiwan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Chien. So this we know that the your Center of Excellence on Smart Manufacturing is the number 5th of Center of Excellence in the APO now. So, yes. Okay, yeah. Can we?
Yeah, we'll play a video of our aims as an illustration about how Taiwan's government has been doing. I think it will partially answer my question too, and thank you very much. Because of computing power and the advance of technology, AI, big data, IoT, computer vision has been empowered smart manufacturing. And a number of nations, they have proposed their strategy, such as Germany proposed Industry 4.0, and the different countries have their own visions, but we all expect a big growth of AI-based industry. In Taiwan, our government also tried to establish 4 national AI centers through most. And among that, one called AIMS, that is focused on manufacturing and develop AI-based manufacturing system located in Tsing Hua, which included a number of research teams in leading university in Taiwan in different areas. And we want to play as a platform to encourage AI research and to foster more international collaboration with leading countries. And we also try to engage the leaders, industry leaders, such as high-tech industry, aerospace, machinery, AI chips, etc. And Dr. Mark Liu, he's the chairman of TSMC. He also is one of our board members. He emphasized the importance of AI talents. So now our government also giving more resource to train AI talents, not just in traditional computer science, but as well as in other engineering, even agriculture, etc. And the AIMS has a number of project teams across the nations. And in Taiwan, we also have different strengths in different areas, such as high-tech industry, machinery, agriculture, aerospace. We even also encourage or incorporate social science research into this area, because we think this will be not just research, but also a transformation or migration. So our center as a platform, we incorporate with leading countries such as Germany, Czech Republic. We also encourage spin-off of new startup company and try to transfer technology to the existing big company. There are two type of approach, but through this process, all of the research team, they need to engage industrial collaboration, so they are not just sitting in the labs. They were encouraged to have more collaboration with different industry, because Taiwan has a lot of manufacturing big data, and the AIMS has our own board. Our board chairman is Chen Shi. He was a chairman of E3. E3 has played a very important role for Taiwan's industry, and so that through his help and the leadership, we would be able to engage with different industry, and they will also provide input, and as well as our government. So we have organized very different kind of activity with international collaboration, with a workshop and industrial collaboration. And through this process, social science or technology law or the other related area, they will also join us as a partner. So on one hand, we are doing our AI research. On the other hand, the whole process is also subject for social science researcher. And we believe that through this process, we can help more of our industry, especially in small and medium-sized industry in Taiwan, because most of them, they probably not ready for the Industry 4.0. That is why we also propose so-called Industry 3.5. That is like a hybrid strategy between now and the to-be Industry 4.0. And through this process, the young researcher and the industry people, they will be more practically and feasible to utilize AI, big data, IoT solutions. And through this process, those young researchers, they also help Taiwan industry to find a new blue ocean or new growth opportunity. And that is very important for this mission to help the whole society, the young talents, as well as the country's growth. Thank you for allowing us to share more about our center. And based on the introduction as an illustration, I also want to ask a question about Dr. Hiep. Since you as APO chair, and thanks for your great leadership to lead the joint effort. So what are the strategy for APO to empower member country for smart manufacturing?
Okay, thank you very much for your questions. Before I answer your question, I also would like to say thank you, Professor Chien, because last year you bring the AIMS group to my countries, and also we have the meeting with my ministries, and we have discussion about the AI technologies. Thank you very much. Come back to your questions. So currently, APO have a lot of programs and projects to support the member economy to improve their capacity to access Industrial 4.0 as well as smart manufacturing. So you can see beside the difference in industrial levels of member economies, one of our gap is the difference in knowledge and human resources about smart manufacturing in our member economies. This is also important task that APO need to support our member economies. So over the past 3 years, APO has implemented some research projects and training programs to help the member economy to improve their knowledge on smart manufacturing, also assess smart manufacturing needs of our member economies, and also APO strongly support the smart manufacturing promotion in our member economies. We consider the COE on smart manufacturing in Taiwan to be the Silicon Valley of smart manufacturing, so that APO can deploy the ideas, programs, and projects that are especially important to help spread knowledge technologies and solutions to support our member economies. So, you know, this year, we also prepare the draft of APO Vision 2025. We will submit to our governing body meeting next year. And this vision, we will implement it with the 10 keys result areas, 7 strategic thrusts, 19 strategies, and 79 initiatives, with the 89 KPI to monitor our vision. So one of our strategic thrusts in the Vision 2025 is to promote smart manufacturing is the leverage and adopt the new next generation technology and practice. So in this strategic thrust, we clarify into 3 strategies. For example, undertake proactive environment sensing, develop the new programs and methodologies to map both present and future needs. Also, we focus on training and reskill the workforce continuously. So this is our main direction and strategy to empower smart manufacturing in our member economies. Thank you very much. Thank you for your question. Yeah, yes. So now also we received the question for you. So you see many SMEs are struggling to understand Industrial 4.0 applications. So how do you think, what are the major problems they must to overcome in the short terms?
Yes, I think this is a very critical question. And indeed, this question is also related to, I'm very glad to know this is also related to the APO strategy you just shared with us. Because in APO member country, including Taiwan, the gap between the knowledge, technology, and the people's, the usage in the real setting is still large. So on one hand, we now have more program to train AI talents, but a lot of them still may not working directly, especially for the manufacturing segment. One of the reasons is the knowledge and technology need a transformation, not just the because if we learn those skills, we can use a number of problems that is being abstract or well organized, such as computer vision or imaging processing, testing like that. But when you apply those technology into textile industry, semiconductor, electronic, shoemaking, there are a lot of extra knowledge and the domain knowledge need to be incorporated. So on one hand, there's some things now, almost every country want AI talent. So for Taiwan, those are a very good talent. They may choose to work in Facebook, Google, etc., rather than working in the industry. But on the other hand, we still see the industry, they are doing slowly. So I think what we need to do is to train more AI talent, not just expert talent, but also the application talent, especially not just training from the student inside of university, but welcome the industry to send their talent to university. So my center, the AIMS, although it is the most sponsored research center, we also see this as an important mission to help our industry, especially small and medium-sized enterprise, to have talent. So we established a program called AIMS Fellow, which is like a course discipline program with a master degree. So the industry, from different industry, they send their engineer or senior executive, they join this program, so they will learn all the related knowledge and skill from our center. And there are a lot of professors from different departments, such as computer science, industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, electronic engineering, and the social science, etc., so that the student can learn all the needed skill in a real setting, because they are students from industry, so they need to solve their own problem. So I think this is one way we are doing. The other way is, of course, our government also established a lot of initiative to support local industry. That is why I mentioned earlier, even the Center of Excellence for APO is also based in central part of Taiwan. Since Taiwan has a lot of industry, they have different needs. So when they are facing the challenge or shortage of talent and the needed knowledge, those on-site testing bed can provide like a platform, so the industry needs and government resource or academia can join on that side to solve the problem for this specific industry needs. So I just use this two-way as an illustration that I think the most of the short-term need is how to find the talent that are willing to stay in small and medium-sized enterprise and willing to learn, in addition to their AI knowledge or big data knowledge, to learn the domain knowledge so that they can apply those knowledge or technology smoothly into this domain. And of course, for the industry people, they also need to know how to incubate those talent or create an environment for those AI, big data scientists can work in their industry or in their company, because basically these are two different type of person at this moment. And that is why earlier in my opening presentation, I also mentioned that in our center, we also invite social science, technology, law, etc. Those people, they can join us and to observe this ongoing change or transformation. And hopefully from their side, they can also propose different theory or different thinking to facilitate this transformation more smoothly, because it is all our whole society, not just a company or individual, need to face for this industrial revolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Chien. We would like to understand deeper about in the scale of SMEs. So which basic elements should be placed before the enterprise move to work to smart manufacturing practice? Can you share with us?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think it's a good question. Just like I mentioned, the gap between the technology and the application. I think in our experience or my observation, I found that there are basically four type of element. Firstly, of course, we need the technology or the solution provider. The solution could come from external, but it is better that someone inside to adopt and transform those solutions and be custom made or to address to the problem. So I think the first element is the solution or technology. Secondly is, like I said, need to be transformed or adopt into inside. So we need domain expert. Although small, medium size or any company, they have different function, but in order to incorporate or facilitate the transfer in technology or solution from outside, we need someone from domain, but they are open-minded or willing to bring in those technology or external resource. So there will be bridge the gap between external solution and the internal needs. So we need a domain expert. We also need someone to be able to help or like supporting them. So someone need to be able to interpret or do the business judgment so that they understand, okay, this application is good, this may not be needed. So those technology and domain experts, they will be a drive or guided to more cost-effective application, because small and medium-sized enterprise, as I mentioned, they usually don't have so much huge resource, so they need to spend their money or investment very smartly. And usually technology people, they don't have this business sense. and domain expert, they only focus on their functional domain. So we need someone like a business owner or executive who has a better strategy view, strategy decision making. So they will guide those two kind of people toward to the right direction to solve their problem. And finally, we need like a cheerleader, or we need the people to support them. Once they success, we need the people like a change agent to say, okay, these are really good. We need to we give them encouragement, acknowledgement, so that those people, they can be changed to the other direction, and then help them to encourage more people to do the problem. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, can you give some example from the SME level?
Yes.
Smart manufacturing. Yeah.
Yes. One of the example I show very quickly in the earlier presentation called Textile company, Everest. It is one of number one functional textile company. I think although I share the solution, we help them develop, but actually without their domain expert, their fab director help us to understand their problem, I cannot just come in and say, okay, I know a lot of AI big data solution, I can come to help you. So you can see their fab director helped me a lot. And their president Hiep, he's although he's a senior executive, but he's very open-minded, want to try different things, and he know what kind of new things will be helpful for his company. So he give us resource to do a joint project, but then he give us the mission to the right direction. And then of course there are a lot of other people, even because Everest also belong to a big group, the Far East group. So the chairman of Far East group, he even invited me to share in their whole business group's conference, to share to the other company, so that through this process, on one hand, my experience can be shared to the other company. But this Everest, this one business unit within this group, he also get acknowledgement and encouragement, saying, okay, you are doing the right thing, so that the whole group acknowledge you. So I think this is the illustration about the four elements I just mentioned, and that is why I don't want to emphasize or overemphasize only technology itself. I think one of the problem is the challenge. And now I would like to, using this opportunity, to play another video. Actually, it's a company called Nextcom. Earlier last year, we also visited this company, and I think it is a good way to show to other participants too.
Yeah, please.
Nextcom Group established its subsidiary, the Next AIoT, in the year 2014 and is committed to becoming the vendor of the industrial IoT and Industry 4.0 total solution. Next AIoT's unique solution, the IAT 2000 cloud-based intelligent monitoring system, bridges the gap between OT and IT. It enables the industrial communications, links all the equipment, and integrates all kinds of data. This open architecture-based Industry 4.0 solution is showcased in Nextcom's Huaya Plant Enterprise War Room. The Huaya Smart Factory is an important milestone for Nextcom. Out from this smart factory, we have evolved from a hardware manufacturer to a versatile smart solutions provider, like the smart machinery, smart monitoring, and the smart manufacturing. There are 9 modules in the Enterprise War Room: facility monitoring, predictive and maintenance, production line monitoring, energy management, ERP and MES, productivity decision-making system, mesh Wi-Fi, cyber security, and 3D factory. The world has been talking about Industry 4.0 for some time now, but there are not many practical solutions available. We have worked out the working smart factory with all Intel CPU-based edge computing platforms. By implementing the main elements of Industry 4.0 in our solution, we will increase your critical KPIs in daily operations by 15 to 25%. Also, we help you enjoy the best benefits of asset digitalization, equipment networking, and intelligent management operations. As a factory manager, you can use the war room video wall to adjust the real-time capacity achievement rate and monitor the production line equipment utilization. Furthermore, you can combine data from operational information systems such as ERP and MES to help you to make the most profitable decision for your company. Nescam's Hua plant demonstrates a fully automated Industry 4.0 smart factory. We are setting the standards of the industrial ecosystem. We look forward to making a difference in your manufacturing operation.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I would like to also take this opportunity, in addition to the sharing and the answer I just mentioned, I think Dr. Hiep thinks you as the APO chair, and of course among APO there are different members. So in your vision, how you will lead this APO to those leading economics can help or support other APO members for this basis migration.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So first of all, I think the latecomers, so I mean the developing member economy, need to learn from the experience of the developed member economy, especially the learning about the policies and technologies, in order to find the new ways to shorten the access time to convert to the smart manufacturing. Also, I think the developed member economy can support the developing member economy through some issue such as first, we should build a tool for assessment of smart manufacturing. So I want to emphasize these issues because nowadays we have many smart manufacturing assessment tools, but if we can use an unified assessment tool, we can find the common problem in our enterprise, which phase when we want to transit to the smart manufacturing. Based on this, we can work together to develop strategy and solution to support our member economy. The second, so I think the developed member economy can support to build the smart manufacturing standard framework that conform with the international standard and suitable with domestic industrial scale. So if you can do this way, so I think our APO member economy will have the same language to promote the smart manufacturing in our areas, and we can help our enterprise to connect to the global supply chain. And next issue, I think the developed member economy can support the developing member economy to implement some training courses, especially the coaching program, to create the high quality human resources on smart manufacturing. So I think if we can do like this, we can show this issue, the leading member economy can support the developing member economy in APO countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now I would like to shift to the interesting topic, that is Industrial 3.5 that I found in your presentation. So I know that you are the author of the books we call the Industry 3.5. It's a very famous book. So could you please summarize the main differences between Industrial 3.5 and the Industrial 4.0, please?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I think before I answer that, I also very glad that Dr. Hiep leading APO for very practical and very realistic transition face by face. And I think the reason for me to propose Industry 3.5 is also realize that most of the industry in APO, including Taiwan, may not ready for Industry 4.0 migration. So firstly, we cannot like a quantum jump from 3.0 to 4.0 directly. Secondly, should we do so? Because the manufacturing now, the base is mostly in APO. So we have a strong manufacturing domain. Of course, we need to continuously enhance our productivity, quality, and our service supply chain effectiveness. But should we do it continuously and step by step, or like a quantum jump? If this quantum jump, the solution is not provided by ourselves, should be buying or subscribe from the leading big companies, then we actually using their tool to make money, so we need to spend more cost. So that is why I think it is really a competition between different business ecosystem or different business model. And the problem we are facing in APO country is very different from leading industrial country, because we have a huge population, for example. That is why I mentioned Industry 3.5 is more like an Iron Man. We don't want to really replace people. We want to empower to reduce their job loading or their job dangerous, etc. But we want to have more talent to spend their brain power and leverage automation, robotics to improve our infrastructure. But such transformation, I think, should be step by step and practically to do so. And in terms of the strategy, which part should we start first? In my opinion, like I said, on one hand, we need to improve our infrastructure. That will take a long way, but will need to be done from now step by step. But on the other hand, we cannot just do it very slowly. That is why some of the application, especially smart manufacturing application, those related to be flexible decision, intelligent planning, supply chain management to deal with this shortened fragmented supply chain, that could be done easily, or they could be done independently of this infrastructure. We can have a digital decision system to help our business people in APO country, so that will be easy to see the value of this transformation. Then the business people, the government, the university researcher, they will be convinced or more confident for this migration. And in Taiwan, we already seen a lot of good example, including some of the example I just showed. So I believe this is a feasible way. And also echo to your question, your answer to a question earlier. In APO, we need to face this transition step by step. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We received some questions from participation, and the main thing is how feasible it is for SME in emerging economies, and also in developing economy like Vietnam or or Laos, to adopt Industrial 3.5 in their production lines. Could you have the short explain about this issue?
Yes. Yeah, I think this is a very practical problem. Once we believe this Industry 3.5 will be more feasible or practical for migration. So what next? I think there are two type of approach. One is like a problem-solving approach. I mean, maybe there are some existing gap or problems. So when we try to solve the problem, try not just utilize your domain knowledge or experience. Try to bring in or incorporate the solution. As I mentioned, there are 4 types of elements. So you are domain expert. You understand what is wrong there, but not just try to solve it by some simple skill. Try to bring in government resource, APO resource, or academia, or try to using the AI big data to solve the problem, but from small one to solve and gradually enlarge the impact. So this is one way. And secondly, from outside in, this was inside out. From outside in, I think the APO or individual government can provide a roadmap. So this roadmap will be like a guideline for SME to improve them step by step. And usually for business to survive, of course, you need to enhance your productivity, your quality, your service. The productivity, usually the problem is related to scheduling or resource allocation or resource optimization, how those resources can be quantified, standardized, and then using a lot of neural network or big data analytics to help the optimization process. Secondly, is related to quality. Traditionally, we use quality control, quality management, but we can using big data to analyze, try to find out the hidden cause, try to provide a proactive solution. And we also using AI for computer vision to do the AOI examination, etc. And then in terms of service, because now the global manufacturing want flexibility, customization. So how can we develop a solution like in the front end so that our customers' needs will be easier to be understood? I think those outside in resource can be led by APO because APO have a lot of expertise and the center of excellence. So if we can provide such guideline, then all the developing economics or the small and medium-sized enterprise, they can benchmark and learn how to adopt it step by step. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think thanks for your question. I would like also take this opportunity since this COVID-19 has impacted our global economics a lot. So how it already impact APO activity. So how Dr. Hiep, you as the APO chair, you think APO member economic, how to address these challenges?
So okay, the COVID-19 pandemic has directly impact for the implement of APO program and projects, especially travel restriction across the member economies have forced us to reschedule both multi-country program and in-country program. So, you know, from 2020, APO has been able to implement only one face-to-face project in the early January of 2020. So other project, we moved to the digital platform and digital project. So with the traditional type, we have face-to-face project. So now we have another type project. We have hybrid multi-country project, which is combine the face-to-face project and virtual section. We have digital multi-country project. It's a fully digital using the virtual classroom style and video conferences. We have the digital in-country project, which connect APO expert, client, MPO in the live consultancies section via digital platform. we have the digital platform project, which is utilize the digital platform as YouTube for the P Talk and T Talk like this talk.
Yes.
So we, in this case, APO also strongly support the technical support for the NPO for the project to digitalize our activity. For example, in Vietnam, APO also supported one project so to digital our consulting, trainings, and supporting enterprise in Vietnam. So I think the COVID-19 pandemic greatly affect to the operation of APO and member economies, of course, our activities, but I think it's also pushed a considerable pressure on APO and also our MPO to transform our activity to the digitals. Yeah.
Yes.
So we hope that after this pandemic, APO and MPO will be stronger to carry out our 60-year mission, that is contribute to the sustainable social economic development of Asian and Pacific through the enhancing productivities. Thank you, Professor Chien, for your question. So we have the one question from Rich Tai. The viewer name is Rich Tai. So Rich Tai said, we have manufacturing plant in Vietnam. I found it is difficult to find the IT vendor here, I mean Vietnam, and is there any plan to build up the IT support and consultants ability for smart manufacturing development in Vietnam? So Professor Chien, may I answer this question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you, Rich Ties. So for this question, so I can say that CPC and VNPI, so we are planning to sign an MOU to support the foreign enterprise in Vietnam to adopt smart manufacturing or industrial 3.5. And also, in Vietnam, we are now create the smart manufacturing ecosystem. Yeah, we connect the IT vendor from APO member economy and also in Vietnam to support the enterprise in Vietnam to transform to the digital stage. I mean, to transform to smart manufacturing. So in this case, you can contact with us, Vietnam Productivity Institutes, or through the CPC in Taiwan, and also through the APO and any NPO under APO. So we can support. And in this case, not only from Vietnam, we can support from resource person from APO, from CPC, and support you. Okay, thank you very much. Because time is out. So thank you very much, Professor Chien, for joining with us as the productivity talk today. And thank you very much for everyone to join, also to share with us your recommendation and comments. So I think, so this topic, smart manufacturing and industrial 3.5 is very interesting topic. And I hope that for the near future, APO also will organize a series of P Talk or Top Talk on smart manufacturing. And once again, I want to say goodbye to everyone, Professor Chien, and I hope to see you again in another APO productivity talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I also look forward to visit you in Vietnam as well as to see you in other APO activities. And thanks for all participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.